my version of what happened was I was standing in the hallway and I saw, you know, yellow caution tape right in the kitchen. So I look and I'm like, what is going on? Why is there yellow caution tape? So I walk down the hall into the kitchen and I see like this big group of people standing there, and then they're all in a circle. I'm like, what are they looking at? Like, what's going on? So I look down into the circle, and I'm at a party. I'm supposed to be, you know, having a good time, but like there's now caution tape, and I'm like, what is going on? I look down into the circle, and I'm in the middle of the circle, and everybody's staring at me, and my body's laying on the ground. And then I am like, whoa. So I try to like maybe communicate with people, or no one can really hear me. I look down, my body's not there, like I have no body. And I'm just like, what is going on? You know, like this is just crazy. So like I'm kind of scared. Well, not scared, but I'm like, okay, obviously I died. You know, I just knew at that moment, like, nobody can hear me. I'm not supposed to be here anymore. So in that second I realized, okay, I'm dead. I look up. All of a sudden in the kitchen, I see this like huge white light coming from the ceiling to the floor. And it's just like, boom. And it's right there. And I just knew like, okay, that's home. Like that's where I'm supposed to go. So I had nowhere like else to go. No one was talking to me. I had no body. So I just like naturally moved into the light. So I went into the light. And as I was moving up in the light, I just started to feel so good. You know, like words can't explain it. Like the higher that I went into the light, and the more that I moved up and further away from Earth, the better I felt. And the feeling of pleasure does not really apply to this Earth. Like, nothing can compare. Like, if you took everything that you were in favor of, like maybe getting a massage in a hot tub, your favorite music, your favorite food, your favorite drink, everything that you love happening to you all at once, no matter what it is, all at once, it would not even closely compare to the pleasure that was just within that light. And as you moved further into, like, further away from this earth, the pleasure felt even better. So you just moved up, it felt better and better. It was insane. So anyways, as I'm moving, like as I'm going up into the light, like you could just tell you're moving up, I looked to my side and like the dark was disappearing. So as I looked to the side, like the earth turned into blackness. So the earth kind of turned into black matter, and like all the objects and everything just kind of turned into this dark blackness. And then all of a sudden, as you're moving up into the light, which is white, right, whitish light, the black starts disappearing. So all the black goes away because the light's taking it. And then the craziest thing was when I looked behind me, like all the way behind me from where I came from, I saw Earth, and Earth was like, it would be like you standing up and looking down and seeing like an ant on the ground. Like our entire universe was the size of an ant. Like it just made you realize how insignificant this life is. And you know, we're only on this earth for a short period of time, but after this period of time, there's an eternal life that we have to live. And I don't think many people know that, you know, or many people believe it. I mean, I wasn't really sure. I didn't really like 100% maybe believe it before this happened. And then after this happened, I was like, well, you know, there is a place you go. And yeah, it's important for people to know that. So anyways, I saw this and then it disappeared. So now I'm completely up in this light, and I see my whole life like flash before my eyes, and I feel like amazing. I don't go any further, it's just light. But I saw my whole life like flash before my eyes. Every person I knew, everything I experienced, like I don't know how it happened that fast, but I got to see my entire life all at once. And I honestly looked at my life and I felt like a complete failure. I felt like I had lived one big selfish life, which was only directed to myself, and I never helped anybody on this planet, or I never gave anything. Like, I'm into a substantial amount. Like, really, I just felt like I lived a life that was, I guess now I know the terminology, but like worldly, you know. So that kind of like, it was weird because, you know, there was that one disappointment up there. So that was kind of strange. Just to look at my whole life, like, it seems so big on earth. Like, my life is so important, you know, my friends, my clothes, like all this stuff was like huge priority here. And then when you get up there, you look at it and you're like, it's kind of funny because you realize how small this planet is and how insignificant, like, your big life really is. It's just funny. But anyways, moving past this bit. So what happened was, as I looked through my life, another thing happened. My dog at that time popped out of, like, it almost looked like, you know, Mac computer, similar to Mac computer, where like everything flashes, like, it kind of looked like that. So everything's like flashing, and sorry, that's my dog drinking water. And he's still drinking water. Everything flashed before my eyes, and then my dog popped out. Okay, my dog popped out, and then this girl popped out, and like like, I already felt so much love, but this overwhelming feeling of like love when I looked at my dog. It wasn't really a picture, it was just like my dog kind of. And then this girl, these overwhelming feelings of love came to me. And this girl was a friend, she was really close with me. And yeah. So, and my dog I cared about so much, so I really cared about these things. I felt like maybe I couldn't just leave these behind. So what I said was, it naturally came out. Like, I didn't have a body at that time, so it came through my mind. Like, I spoke through my mind, just like when you talk to yourself in your head, but it was like the only thing I could hear. It was like amplified, so it would be louder than my voice talking through my mouth, but through my mind, amplified. It was really weird. And then, so I basically said, I'm not ready to go. Yeah, I said, I'm not ready to go. And then this voice, which was God, you just know, it's like this very familiar voice that almost, to me, what it sounded like was like the tone of everybody else's voice. It was like, this is the voice almost, and then each of us have like a different pitch, lower or higher, and like this was like the voice for all, and we all have like voices stemming off this voice. That's kind of what, it was so familiar to me, you know, and I can't get over it. But the next thing too is when I said I'm not ready to leave, or I'm not ready to go, or whatever, even though I wanted to be up there, I just couldn't leave behind my life at that time. So the voice said to me, if you want to live, show it. And then the minute I said okay, boom, it was like back out of the light, like back into darkness coming past me, back into my body. And then I'm just like, I wake up and I'm laying on the kitchen floor, you know, and all I can see is red, like everywhere. Like all I see is just like red everywhere, and like all these people are around me, and I'm like just coming to, and all these people are, you know, are you okay? Are you okay? Oh my gosh, we thought you were dead. Like, they're all concerned about me. And I just see red everywhere. And I think, like, I just remember asking them, like, am I bleeding? I thought I broke my arm, or I thought I was bleeding. I could see blood everywhere. I just saw red all over. And I'm like, am I bleeding? Like, what's going on? And they're like, no, you're not bleeding. Are you okay? And I'm like, yeah. And then all of a sudden the red went away. And and I just, like, there's this strobe light, and that was the thing that gave me the seizure in the first place. So I see this strobe light, like, bumping, and I just, like, take it, and I rip it out of the wall, like, threw it across across the room. And I think people were, trying to grab me and pick me up or help me up, and I just didn't really understand. I'm punching everything like, oh, I'm back on this earth, like what's going on? Threw out the strobe light, the lights were off, it was a party. I turned on the lights, and it was just no, great. When you're up there, there's nothing. I mean, I could sit here and my clothes right now are kind of uncomfortable. My hair is kind of in my face. Like, I don't want to be negative, but the reality is that it's not perfect on Earth. And there is a place where none of this exists. I mean, like, my leg might be sore right now. I might have to adjust my seating because, we get uncomfortable at times. My throat is kind of dry. I mean, I can go on. Just everything. Like, the light might be too bright in this eye. I could be wearing sunglasses. This sounds really stupid, but the fact of the matter is, life here, there is darkness here, and there is no perfection here. And to actually be able to believe or to know that there is a place where there is only good and there is no bad there. It almost doesn't really make sense. It doesn't, like, to us it doesn't, because we're from this earth, and on this earth we have good and we have evil. And the hard thing to realize is beyond this earth there is a place of all good and there is a place of all evil. And when we come to realize that, I think that's really important to help us get through this life, because we're only here for a small time. And, I mean, I'm like 25 now, so say I die at 70, if the world lasts that long, who knows, but if I died at maybe 70, 80, that's less than 50 years left on this planet. And then I have eternity somewhere else. So just keep that in mind. Even if you want to, like, for the simplicity of human beings, pretend we only live 1,000 years, which I know we don't pretend just for simplicity. If we're going to be thinking about, like, 50 fun years here, which, I mean, my whole life before was just, let's just say I was not part of the good crowd. I was part of the bad kids, partying all the time. Not bad kids, but just, getting into trouble, doing anything I wanted. Really be doing, like, now I've learned these technical words, but doing, like, worldly things, and I just realized that there's so much more to this planet than just that.